In this video, we're going to talk about the hider spawn room of Plexville. Basically, we're talking about all the hiding spots inside and on top of this building. So really, the hiders spawn basically in this region of the house, right? So obviously, any extra blocks over here, they were AFK, a hider spawn and didn't move, so they're fake. So let's talk about basically the downstairs first, basically this area right here. So starting over here, it's basically just a total of 3 flower pots. So if you see 4 flower pots, right, especially this spot, then that would be fake. For the furnaces, if you see 3 furnaces, like this is probably the most common one, it's fake. You'll even sometimes see a furnace go right here, so that would be fake as well. For the bookshelves, it's basically if you see 3 bookshelves on top of each other, that would be fake. Or a bookshelf right next to it, like either right here or right here. So then that would be fake. As for these leaves, you see a flower pot on top of these leaves, then that would be fake. You'll sometimes even see that. That's basically it for this room. Over here, for the bookshelves, basically if you see 3 bookshelves on top of each other, like that would be fake, or a bookshelf right next to it like that, then that would be fake. So pretty easy. As for the flower pot, if you see 2 flower pots on the table, then one of them is fake. Sometimes you'll even see cakes on top of this table, so that would be fake if you see a cake on here. That's basically it for this room. Going over here, this is where the hider spawn region is, like literally within this little area. As for this area, basically, for this little desk right here, you have a note block on this side, but there shouldn't be a note block on this side. So if you see a note block over here, it's fake. Sometimes that'll even be replaced with a flower pot. So sometimes we even see flower pots go here. That would be fake. As for basically just on top of the table, you'll sometimes see flower pots or cakes on top of the table. So that would be fake. As for this shelf, basically you think of it as if you put it into pairs, right? You have a pair of bookshelves, and 2 flower pots. So a pair of flower pots. So really there's just 3 pairs. You should never see more than 2 flower pots. Like for instance, a flower pot here is fake, a flower pot on top of this bookshelf is fake. Those are the 2 typical spots for flower pots. As for bookshelves, it's basically if you see a bookshelf in that same spot, right? 3 bookshelves in a row is fake. 3 bookshelves on top of each other is fake. Or again, a group of 3 bookshelves, that would be fake. So that's basically it for this area. Right, so now let's go upstairs. So as you can see, you go upstairs. This is basically what the upstairs looks like, right? You have some stuff over here, and then you have 2 rooms, right? This room and this room, which actually has doors with it. As you can see, this is this room. Let's talk about what's over here first, right? The note block is probably the biggest block pile in this entire house, so pretty small, right? So the first part about the note block stack is that there's a total of 2 note blocks on top of the stack. So if you see 3 note blocks on top of the stack, for instance like this, then that would be fake. Some other things, if you see 2 note blocks in front of the stack like this, that would be fake. 2 note blocks in a row on the side of the stack like this is fake. And also you even sometimes see a note block behind the stack like right here. That would be fake as well. It's basically just those 4 features. As for the bookshelves, basically just 3 bookshelves. So if you see 4 bookshelves like this, or this, any one of those, that would be fake. You also shouldn't see the bookshelf stack look 3-dimensional. I love saying that. You shouldn't look 3-dimensional, right? In this case, the bookshelf stack is 2-dimensional, but if it's 3-dimensional like this, then that would be fake, right? So that is basically it. For this couch right here, it's just 1 flower pot. So you see 2 flower pots, for instance like this, then that would be fake. Alright, now let's talk about these 2 rooms right here. Starting with the room right here, it's basically just 2 flower pots. And as for these 2 bookshelves, you can't get into that slot right there. So really, the only thing you can really see for the bookshelves is infestor spots. But again, typically you're going to expect infestors here, unless for some reason you hear a slime infested. But even then, that's non-ideal conditions. You shouldn't hear any noises under ideal conditions. So yeah, but anyways, you'll sometimes find infestors in there. As for the flower pots, again, just a total of 2 flower pots. So if you see 3 flower pots, typically this is the most common spot to find a flower pot. This would be fake. So anywhere over here. Typically it's this spot though. You will sometimes even see a flower pot over here on this side. as for this room, okay, basically, just got 2 cauldrons. So if you see 3 cauldrons in a row, sort of like directly below us is where the 2 furnaces were, right? 3 furnaces in a row, it's fake. Same thing here. 3 cauldrons in a row, it's fake. Right? Same thing from the furnaces. Like if you see a cauldron on the side of it like this, or even on this side, then that would be fake. You even sometimes will see flower pots, right? If I morph into a flower pot, usually it's going to be flower pots behind the curtains. Right? So sometimes you'll see stuff like that as well. Now, that's basically it for this room. Next, going to the balcony, sometimes we'll find flower pots on the balcony in either one of these 2 spots. Should be no flower pots over here, but many times you'll even see flower pots literally on the sides right here. Alright, now let's look at the balcony. Now, this is the last part we gotta look at. Basically, on the balcony you just have flower pots, right? So you see you have flower pots behind it, but like in the front of the house, like on this side, there should be no flower pots at all, right? So basically, let's start from this side again. Basically, the way I memorize it is just by the numbers, right? We have 4, 1, 2, 1. So all you gotta do is just memorize those sequence of numbers, right? 4, 1, 2, 1. So if you ever see more than 4 here, for instance 5, like this, that's fake. You see more than 1, for instance 2. For instance, look, notice how it's symmetrical with a window, right? That would be fake. You shouldn't see 3 flower pots here, for instance, like this. And you shouldn't see 2 flower pots here like this. And you will, of course, sometimes see flower pots at this corner, right? Or even over here. This corner right here. Alright, so that's basically the idea. So we've basically gone over all the different hiding spots of the hider spawn house. So this is basically it for this video. And so that's pretty much it.